back. Government people a make you a cripple. Newborn baby, the government a stifle. Everyone got them share of them programming. The government bad. Even when you see as a black man front, white man people a control that. Them a ruling us with the mind control. Them a ruling us through our own obia. Them a tricking us with the Jehovah. Them a give us the Bible and 12 disciples, knowing none of us would ever discover them plan of rulership. Now the ship and the fire that we are blazing now, some of them are sins if we hunt them back. And the fire that we are blazing now, some of them are karma are turning back.
Om Namah Shivaya, Asinest Fire, here on The Way of Dharma. I know it's been a while since we've spoken, and I do apologize for that. Something unfortunate happened. The device that I was using was my phone, my new phone. I had bought a new phone, obviously for better quality for the videos, but then there's some guys that came and robbed me. Yes, so that's what really happened. So that's why I haven't been in contact. I've been demotivated to keep on recording stuff because of the quality purposes. But now I figured let us continue. So how far have we come? Have we came since our last video? Okay, let me take you back into, I think it was April or May. Let me take you back to April or May. So this is what I did. I sat down and I thought, okay, how would I verify the information of the existence of aliens? Okay, how would I make sure that I was telling you about things from first-hand experience? So this is our topic for today. If you are new to this channel, Way of Dharma, please make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you hit the notification bell, and make sure that you like if you want the algorithm rhythm to boost our videos and viewership. If you are a returning viewer, please make sure that you do subscribe. And if you are somebody who has unsubscribed and you've come across this video, please do subscribe. Okay, let me fix something before we continue. So I thought to myself, how would I verify this alien existence, having a first-hand experience? And then I sat down, I did a ritual to actually spot a UFO. And then a week later or 2 weeks later, I was sitting with someone. I do not want to refer to her as my girlfriend because of personal stuff. Okay, so let's continue. So it was late at night, and then we went outside, and then when I looked to the skies over there in the southern eastern sky, I spotted, better make that distinction, I spotted that a UFO was flying over there. And then I thought I was shocked because it was the first time in my life I've actually seen such a thing, seen such evidence that could verify the existence of extraterrestrials and other intelligent beings of the universe. Remember what I said. There's animals that live beneath the sea, beneath the ground, that we are not aware of, even in our close vicinity. So the existence or the possibility of existence of intelligent species, alien species, it's at least there's higher chances of existence of other intelligent species in the universe. So let's continue. And then I saw that, okay, these things can be influenced even by our magic. So then, or maybe, yes, I influenced myself to be awake at that time to see or spot such a craft. So now fast forward to for the past month or so, and then I did another ritual to actually discover about the inner worlds. Okay, there's some things that we were not taught about the earth that we live in. Okay, the earth that we live in is hollow. It's hollow, and then that's how it is able to stay firm on its axis and to make sure that the planet doesn't get tilted or doesn't flip around due to imbalances, because that would be the case if the planet wasn't hollow in the middle, basically. So I then went on to do a ritual to discover more knowledge about these inner worlds. That's when I came across a book by Dolores Cannon, The Convoluted Universe or Universes. It's a book series coming from book 1 up until book 5, I think. So I've been reading book 2 right now, and then this is how she came about this knowledge. She's a hypnotherapist or a hypnotic spell. A hypnotherapist, a practitioner of hypnotism. So she came across this when she experimented doing hypnotism by doing a past life regression, meaning going back to the past life of an individual. Okay, and then along the way she discovered evidence and she discovered beings that would refer to the inner worlds. So apparently there's civilizations inside of the earth. We were taught that the earth, it had a crust, it had a inner, a mantle, and a core. Apparently after 800 miles underground, you would see the hollow that we are speaking of. And then the hollow that we are speaking of, there's civilizations over there. And then that's what you would call the inner worlds. Different species of intelligent beings live inside of it. There's also a tunnel under the Sphinx and the pyramids that would lead to the inner worlds. And I'd like to think that in every continent there's a tunnel leading to these inner worlds. Okay, perfecto. So they say that the inner worlds, there's a sun inside of the actual earth, the inner world. The sun is a projection of the original sun that was taken or projected from a far away planet, or rather a galaxy, basically. So that would emanate from there. It would be a projection via intelligent ways, of course. So now let us talk about the inner worlds. So there's that, and there's also beings. There's worlds, inner worlds inside of the earth, and then these advanced beings are actually aware of us living on the surface of the earth, and they are not willing to come up because of the state of humanity, and because of the atmosphere, the pollution of the atmosphere, and for many other reasons, of course. So they would not come to the surface, and some don't even want to come up purely because the surface, it's not as pleasant as it would be in the inner world. Very nice. Now this is something that I've heard a black scholar, Delbert Blair, speak of before I actually went to search about this knowledge and do a ritual for it. I actually came across videos by or lectures by Delbert Blair, Dr. Delbert Blair. He speaks of the inner worlds, he speaks of extraterrestrials and aliens. So yes, that's where I got the inspiration to go deeper into, and I still have to encounter such an intelligent being face to face, mano y mano. I still have to do that. I will gather the courage to do that, and I will come to speak about it on the channel only if it's permitted by these intelligent species. But I have to do that. I have to bring such knowledge to you guys as somebody who's sharing with you occult information and this knowledge. I have to be somebody who has experienced it first sight. So I have to be elaborate in other ways. Yes, if there's Luciferian, I have to plunge deeply into it to see if I can find first-hand experience. If there's Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma, I have to go deeply within it and come with knowledge to make sure that I can talk more about it and make sure that I can share some knowledge, first-hand experience knowledge. So this is what I wanted to speak about in this video. So the book changed a lot of my perceptions about life in general, about people, and about certain characteristics that we have in this life. And it also clarified something to me about the subject of reincarnation. I'm one person who wants to experience first-hand experience knowledge. So because I haven't had any convincing evidence to convince me enough of the past life thing or the subject of reincarnation, I didn't really believe into it because I haven't had any first-hand knowledge. But now, ever since this book, it has changed my entire outlook on the subject of reincarnation. Apparently, there's also diseases or ailments that would plague you in the modern life that are results of your past life. Take for example asthma. When some what do you call those people that are hypnotized? Okay, when some hypnotic subjects would be hypnotized and sent back to their past lives, they would be asked about certain diseases, the subconscious, or rather the active unconscious, or rather the real mind. I'd like to say the real mind, the all-knowing mind, the mind of God. Yes, I think I'll use that term, the mind of God. Yes, I like that word. Yes, the mind of God, which is used to refer to the unconscious or the bigger portion of our minds. When it was questioned about certain diseases, it was able to explain that these diseases are a result of maybe a death or a trauma or an activity that happened in the past. Take this for example. For the asthmatic subjects and people who have short breath and breathing problems, it was found that they either died by suffocation, they either died underwater by drowning and all that inhalation deaths. Yes, it would be the cause. And some had unfounded fears. Some were fearing heights because in their past life they fell off of a building, fell off of some skyscraper, and they died. That's how they died. So they carry that trauma into this modern life. And some people who have karma or Arnanu Bandhana, which is a bond, a karmic bond, or a karmic memory bond that comes from the past life. Suppose I killed you in the past life, now I have to repay the debt in this present life. So you would come back as maybe my son or my daughter, or even somebody I'd have to look after. Yes. So that's what would happen, and it would be how the mind of God or the true self has chosen to settle our karmic debt. So going back to the subject of God, I think I should include this in this video. Now, last week I experimented on edibles, which are muffins that are infused with ganja. What is ganja? Weed, marijuana, the kali weed, the bang from Mahadeva. Yes, the one that Mahadeva smokes. Okay. So what really happens when you eat edibles is this: the THC in the ganja, what would be responsible for making you high, is intensified when you actually consume it orally. So you are no more smoking weed. It's a entirely different drug as opposed to smoking it. So eating it, you are now consuming THC. What's THC? THC, it's an active substance in cannabis or cannabinoid. Yes, cannabinoid, and I am humanoid, so you understand it's an active ingredient in that cannabis. So THC, the difference is that it is actually the psychedelic in marijuana or weed. When you smoke the chalwa or the marijuana or the kali weed, it's not as psychedelic as it would be when you nyam the edibles. So it turns into THC. You are no more consuming marijuana, ganja. You are actually consuming THC. So THC has a psychedelic effect on the body in large quantity, even in large quantities or large dosage. So I nyammed it, and then when I nyammed it, I discovered so many things about the mind of God, or rather God being the higher self, or the part of us which is not expressed when we are awake, like we are awake now, or the part that is not conscious to the psychic sensor of a mind, which is the conscious mind. Yes, that state of subtlety, the subtle form of ourselves. So it came in the forefront, and I got to experience being God for like a few hours, and it was so overwhelming. So let's go into the experience. I eat the chalwa cakes with tea, and then I meditate over there, and then I realize that my mind becomes flooded with thoughts. Thoughts are running in my mind, and they are loud, basically. So I get to be able to abstract knowledge from the mind very quickly, but then it's too quick for my body or too quick for my conscious mind to process. So I'm writing about the universe. So this is what I've discovered. The universe is mental, right? As we are told in the Kybalion, it is mental, meaning the universe is inside the mind of God. So it's a mental process, or rather, let's say the universe is the thought inside the mind of God. It's a thought inside the mind of God. So there's a system by which the universe operates. Let's call it the mind of the universe. Okay, it has a mind, meaning a system by which it operates. Okay, so the system is organized and well formulated and well organized to a point whereby it's flawless. So when you take this into consideration, you are able to see that nothing in the universe happens coincidentally, because that would mean that it would have a glitch, basically. So having a glitch in the mind of God would be detrimental to the entire systematic happening of things in the mind of God. So God, being perfection, wouldn't really have glitches in its mind. So it's well organized. A coincidence is something that happens as mchaiso, meaning it's not bound to happen. It happens as a mistake, and there's no mistakes in the mind of God. God is all-knowing and almighty. So there's no mistakes. You understand? So let's go back into this subject again. I'm sorry, I tend to look down. I think my confidence has been yammed to a certain degree, so I'm not talking facing the camera. Or rather, I forgot the art of public speaking. So yes, let us speak about the happenings of the universe. So inside the mind of God, which is the systematic happening of the universe. So now I'm talking all these stupid stuff that I would read in books of these guys who are called Eliphas Levi, the guys like Aleister Crowley, and H.P. Blavatsky, and all those giants like Alexandra. What's her name? What Alexandra? It's a woman who studied in Tibet, in Tibet, basically. So yes, taking this into consideration, the systematic happening inside the mind of God. So what are we? We are actually symbols inside the mind of God. Okay, and everything inside the universe is actually a symbol to a certain degree. It's a symbol. So when you combine two symbols, it evokes a certain meaning inside the mind of God or inside the universe. You understand? So when you combine water with soil, two symbols, they make one symbol, which is mud. So you understand? These things are actually symbols. Every creation inside the universe symbolizes something inside the mind of God. When you combine or compound these two elements in physical form inside the mind of God, they bring forth a symbol, which is a result of what you would have combined. So it would signal to the mind of God that you have created something else. But in actual truth and actuality, nothing has really happened, because everything is energy, and taking energy and putting energy together, you only get energy. So there's no mud, there's no water, there's no soil, it's only energy. So because you are living inside the mind of God and we are symbols, it brings forth that result. So it shows you that the universe, as well organized as it is, it's actually a scam. It's a mind. It's a systematic happening of the mind of God. These are only my thoughts that came through from the meditation of looking at the universe. You understand? I'm not saying that it's a concrete truth. You might come across a book that interprets this in a better way, but I do understand it inside of me, but I just don't have the vocabulary to explain it to you perfecto. But surely there's books that would do that very well. Okay, so now we move from the subject of the universe and we talk about all-knowing God, mind of God. When I was Christian, I used to think that all-knowing would be knowing the names of him, the names of her, the names of everybody, and all that stuff, and the seasons and astrology and intellectual stuff and stuff. But when I tripped off the ganja, I got to see a very different level of knowing. You get to know your bodily processes. You get to feel your blood circulating all over you. Everything is intensified. You are hypersensitive, basically. So you get a sensory overload. Sitting on this chair, I wouldn't do it this long if I ate the ganja cakes, because now I would be feeling that this chair is actually conflicting with my blood circulation, and I'd feel suffocated to a certain degree. And then I try to lie down. On my back, I feel the same sensation, and it's too much, it's overwhelming. You can hear your blood circulating. You can hear, I don't want to say the wind, the air, because there's air that you are breathing in and there's air outside. You get to hear the air, but it's not wind, but you get to hear it, but on a hypersensitive scale, basically. The sound gets too loud, but then when you are conscious, you wouldn't hear anything. You get to hear the sounds of the birds. You get to hear everything, and everything gets to be intensified. You are aware of everything, and because you are inside the physical body, it just can't take it. You eventually feel like you are dying, because you'll be receiving a lot of sensory input. So you end up feeling like you are dying, which is what actually was going to happen. You understand? So when you do psychedelic drugs, you do have a certain death of the ego. So it comes about as a result of that sensory overload. Well, in my case, you understand. So I was able to get such knowledge of God. The knowledge of God, being all-knowing, means that you get to know your blood circulation. You get to know the sounds that it makes. Every microorganism that is living inside of you. Imagine how many microorganisms that are living inside of you. How many bacteria, how many viruses. How would you know that as a human being and get to be alive? I don't think you would, because it's so overwhelming. In the Bible, it speaks about God knowing everything, even the sparrow that dies on the tree. The sparrow is a bird. So when a bird dies on the tree, it is recorded in the mind of God. So being all-knowing, it's overwhelming in physical form, and we are collecting information, and we are storers of information in the mind of God. God knows everything as a result of how each and every one of us pursues their lives. You understand? So we are recording devices for the mind of God, and we are in actuality inside God. There's nothing else outside of God. There's only what is inside of God. So God being the only one, we are actually the knowledge inside of God. You understand? So we are actually the knowledge inside of God. So that subject of God spreading out outside of himself and doing that to search for knowledge, I don't think it's like that, because there's only the existence of God. We are inside of God, we are building blocks of God, and we are storers of knowledge, or we are knowledge in many forms inside of God, the true infinite God. Yes, it's a very, very deep subject when you don't eat ganja cakes. I'd like to warn you of this, guys. I am not recommending such behavior to anyone. As you would know in my previous videos, I do not recommend drug use at all. Even alcoholic beverage, I don't recommend it. Fire burn them ganja, fire burn them alcoholic, fire burn them zens and them lean and them codeine. You see me? So we burn everything down. And yes, I don't recommend it for everyone, and I'm not prescribing this to you guys as a medication to heal you. Contact or consult with your physician or your doctor if you want accurate healing. So yes, guys, this is what I wanted to discuss with you. There's many things inside of that book. The sun is actually one of the recording centers, and there's many other planets who are recording information. The earth is a living entity, and it's a conscious sentient being. There's people in their past lives who were incarnated as mountains, volcano, animals, and all kind of things. But I suspect that the information in that book was censored to a certain degree. And I think due to that person's development in consciousness, many of the things did not come to light. But it's a very excellent book. You should go check it out, and you shouldn't eat ganja cakes because I ate ganja cakes. It should be your decision. If you decide to do so, please don't involve me when you are drunk like a cow, when you are high like an elephant, when you see pink animals, when you see hallucinations. Please don't call out arsonist fire, because it gets intense and the high doesn't end. Eventually it led me to crying and calling my mama. So to get back into my body, she had to do affirmations to actually bring me back into the body, because it was too overwhelming. So be careful with these things. Om Namah Shivaya, arsonist fire. Peace to those people that robbed me Peace to the situation I'm facing right now, the personal issue. Peace to the planet, the beings of the planet, and other intelligent species. Peace to Mama Earth. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanao Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to subscribe and like and hit the notification bell for more content. Om Namah Shivaya. I hope this is a quality video. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you get to learn some things from it. Thank you for your support. Thank you for making the channel to reach this far in subscribers. I will continue providing more content, and if there's any mantra that you would like me to record or to talk about or anything via Sanatana Dharma, please talk to me. I am still a practitioner of yoga. I'm still a dharmic person. I am still a tantric practitioner, not in the scale of those advanced people. I just dabble, and sometimes I get results. If you want to talk and discuss such subjects, do consult me in the comment section, and I'll make sure that I share knowledge if I have. Om Namah Shivaya, Asanas Fire, on way of Dharma.